Okay, so now I'll be introducing the second speaker of today. His name is Fellix Qonde. Mr. Fellix is currently a special advisor to the Minister of Minerals Resources and Energy. Mr. Qonde was the Director General for the Department of Higher Education and Training for a period of 10 years. He has also served as a councillor within the city of Cape Town for 6 years. He initiated the Kalesia Development Forum and served as on many structures with the aim of developing and uplifting communities. Mr. Qonde has been deep passion for serving and uplifting communities, in particular the poor and marginalized who are reliant on the public sector to access government services, and especially education and training, which he believes is the only weapon that the poor and marginalized can use to extract themselves from poverty and life in dignity. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call Mr. Qonde to the stage.
Thank you, Program Director. Indeed, we feel warmly welcome here in Australia, in particular Perth. Let me take this opportunity to greet the President of Botswana in absentia. He was here yesterday throughout the day and including in the dinner. The High Commission of South Africa here in Australia, representatives of the host government of Australia in various roles and capacities, captains of global mining industry present here, high-level representatives of various mining-related organizations in South Africa, in the African continent, and elsewhere in the world, members of South Africa delegation, advisors to different ministries responsible for mining across various African countries, senior government managers from various departments and ministries. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to greet every one of you present here today. We are delighted as South Africans to see this South Africa and Australian-inspired initiative back 2003 to have grown in significance and stature, not only for South Africa, but for the entire continent of Africa and the world, indeed. The mining industry in South Africa contributes meaningfully to the gross domestic product. Whilst production declined, the value of production registered is 1.18 trillion in 2022, up to 1.1 trillion in 2021. And this happened on the back of strong global demand. The sector created roughly about 23,552 jobs between 2021 and December 2022, resulting in the overall employment in the sector of 472,088 workers, which is quite meaningful in the context of our country. According to South African Revenue Services back home, the mining sector contributed 89 billion in corporate tax in the 2021-22 financial year. A further contribution of mining to the country's revenue through royalties stood at 28.45 billion in the same period, keeping its percentage contribution to the GDP at 7.53%. This is a clear indication that mining remains a strong pillar of our economy. The recent Fraser Institute survey has not ranked South Africa favorable due to some constraints in electricity, rail, and port systems. But let me hasten to assure you that the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy is working closely with various stakeholders to urgently resolve these factors that impede the growth in our sector. There is no doubt that South African mining sector will improve its rankings on both indexes if these constraints can be resolved in the shortest possible time, of which we are all committed to do. I'm also pleased to inform you that a new cadastral system has been procured, and we think working hard into ensuring that it's working and is up and running by end of 2023, which would assure the resilience and tight processes in processing licenses in the mining sector. This year's event is convened just over 1 week after we hosted the African Critical Minerals Summit in Johannesburg. It is a known fact that Africa is endowed with a vast array of minerals, especially those that are critical for transition to energy, to clean energy rather. At the heart of our deliberations throughout the two-day summit was the imperative to craft collective vision for the abundant criminal minerals that grace our continent greatly. It was key for us to clearly define what we mean by critical minerals as Africans. This term means different things to different people throughout the world. The reality is our priorities differ. The challenges we face as Africans are distinct. Energy supply, food security, poverty, unemployment, and lack of industrialization, amongst others. These are the narratives that dominate our landscape. And so the narrative of critical minerals must evolve to address our unique context. Therefore, our approach to defining critical minerals must be holistic, with a consideration of our national and continental needs and global trends as well. In South Africa, we have abundant reserves of coal, platinum group metals, gold, diamonds, and critical minerals like iron ore and manganese, to mention a few. South Africa possesses an extraordinary wealth of resources waiting to be unearthed. It is time to shift the focus, reinvigorate exploration efforts, and rediscover the untapped treasure trove that lies within our borders. We appreciate that exploration is a costly and risky exercise, and that is why we have invested huge amounts of money to the Council for Geoscience to improve their work of de-risking exploration projects and supplying invaluable pre-competitive geological information to everybody who wants to venture into that space. By equipping explorers with comprehensive insights into South Africa's mineral-rich landscapes, we empower them to unlock untapped potential and uncover hidden treasures that we possess. Whilst we seek to attract foreign investments into mining, we have to simultaneously guarantee infrastructure such as energy and rail. On matters of energy, we initially increased the threshold for embedded generation in 2021 from 1 megawatt to 100 megawatts, but further resolved to remove the cap altogether in 2022. Mining companies such as Gold Fields took this advantage of the opportunity to generate their own power, which resulted in them registering a 10% production growth despite the 9% decline year on year in the sector's overall production. This is because they completed their 50 megawatt plant, which is giving them energy enough, and registered some surpluses in their production. We have observed an upsurge in more companies investing in own power generation capacity since these amendments. Load shedding has for the past 2 years put a damper on our mining output and constrains our ability to beneficiate our minerals at home. However, we have observed a slight improvement in the energy availability factor of some of the ESCOM plants, which gives us hope that we are efficiently addressing this particular challenge. As part of our strategy to ensure security of energy supply in our country, we announced during our budget vote speech that this financial year, we are going to procure 10,000 megawatts of renewable energy under bid windows 7 and 8, 3,000 megawatts of gas to power, 2,500 megawatts of nuclear energy, and 1,230 megawatts of battery storage. Working is already underway to procure 513 megawatts of battery storage, and we are envisaging issuing requests for proposals for bid windows 7 and 8, as well as gas to power and nuclear before the end of this financial year. Ladies and gentlemen, it is quite clear that the collective efforts of government and the Minerals Council of South Africa to improve security along the coal link are bearing fruits as incidents of crime are beginning to follow a downward trend drastically. This enjoins us to continue working collaboratively to find solutions for rail and port infrastructure challenges, which presents opportunities and conducive environment for massive investment in the mining sector in our country. Success in this regard will be seen in what we do as a collective moving forward. We're all putting very hard work into ensuring that all these obstacles are addressed and resolved quite speedily. We are inviting every one of you to take this opportunity to invest in our country, in our mining sector, because returns are hugely guaranteed. Thank you very much, Program Director.